Credit score is created from information on your credit file. It can differ from one lender to another depending on the criteria they use in assessing you as a potential customer. The most recent information you filed in the credit form will be used to decide whether they lend to you, how much they can lend to you, and how much interest they will charge you. This will have the most impact because lender will be most interested in your current financial situation, whether bad or good. And your credit score shows that you missed number of payments, the interest they will charge you will be higher, or you may not get the loan at all. They often believe that you are a risk when they lend to you. Your credit history can affect your ability to get things like insurance, so it's recommended to always check your credit score quite often to be on the right side. Credit score is one of the most important measures in your financial health, so the better score, the easier you can find and be approved for new loans. Through higher credit scores, you can get loans on the lowest interest rates from many lenders. Here's a few step-by-step guide on how to improve your credit score. Keep credit cards open. If you want to improve on your credit score, you should first understand that the age of your credit card history matters a lot, and also know that closing them will make your job of improving your credit score even harder. It also means that you will lose the credit card's limit when the overall credit utilization is circulated, which can get to your lower scores. It is good to keep the cards open occasionally to avoid closure from issuer. Using secured credit cards. Another method is to use secured credit cards. This card is usually backed by cash deposit where you pay it up front and the deposit is usually in the same as a credit limit. You can use it like a normal credit card, which in turn adds to your credit score, hence the credit bureau is noticing the activity. You can use the card sparingly, make 1 or 2 purchases every month. It is recommended to always pay your second credit card every month before due date and also keep checking the credit score when it was improved, and you can ask your issuer for upgrading. Be an authorized user. To be an authorized user, you can contact your credit card issuer so that he can take you through the several steps you are supposed to follow, and also your credit card history can be used to determine your credit profile. You can also ask someone you know with a higher and responsible credit score whether you can become authorized user of their account in order to improve the credit limit. The holder of that account does need to offer you the credit card to use in purchasing or offer their account and number of your credit to be improved. This, however, works best if you have a very small credit file. To become an authorized user of the issuer, you will have to use our personal information like names, addresses, where you were born. If you have any security numbers to process your request in becoming an authorized user. Dispute credit errors. Around 25% of customers find errors that could affect their credit scores in their credit reports, according to a study done in 2012 by Federal State Commission. In the same study, they also reported that the credit bureau corrected this after the customer disputed in the mistake of the report. An error in your credit report lowers your credit score and the ability to get a loan from any lender. In order to clear any errors that may hinder a good credit score, you can send a letter to the credit bureau explaining about your error in the report. The bureau will then launch an investigation of about a month and a week, and then they will get back to you. It is always advisable to keep reviewing and checking for updates on the records because they are determiner in all credits and in your ability to get a loan from lenders. Always keep them in order. Ask for higher credit limits. Asking for a credit increase can be necessary when hard times hit. Currently, due to the COVID-19 epidemic, you may ask your issuer to add your credit card limit in order to meet your daily needs. This only happens if you have good credit, and good credit is being responsible in managing your current credit. Secondly is when you get a raise, which means that every time you get an increase of income, your credit limit increases and you can be able to request your issuer for an increase of your credit card. It shows your issuer that you have the ability to afford more expenses. Always remember that when your credit card limit goes up, the balance will always stay the same, hence lowering your overall credit utilization, which could improve your credit. It is always good to ask your issuer if you can get a higher limit without bad credit inquiry, which can drop your score. Making frequent payments. Your credit history makes up about 35% of your score, hence being the most important factor for your credit rating. This rating is based on whether you make frequent minimum payments on time. The number of payments you make doesn't matter as long as you make at least one minimum payment. If you can make such small micropayments throughout the month, it helps your credit score balance to stay down and improve your credit. However, one should keep in mind that multiple payments don't carry forward. Let's say you make 4 payments this month. You will still need to make a minimum payment for the following month. The extra payments will be considered as advance for future minimum payments. It's also advisable to be careful in these terms because you will likely miss your payments and that could lead to a bad credit and record scores. Paying bills on time. There's no strategy to improve your credit score if you miss paying bills. If you are timely and regular in paying your bills, you will get the perfect opportunity to increase your credit scores and your lender will notice you are a responsible person. They may even consider adding a limit to your credit card. However, if you realize you may not make to pay your bills on time, you can consider notifying your issuer to avoid a bad record being forwarded to the bureau and pay when you can. You should also know that when you miss payments every month, your account is marked as delinquent and hurts your score. Good thing is that missed payments fades with time, showing a lot of positive credit behaviors can cover up for the mishaps and eventually improve your credit.